handling and mechanical material.
Yeah.
So how we need to store, and if we doesn't handle properly, what will be the consequences for that? So all these things we were discussed yesterday.
Well. Okay, any other thoughts? Okay, fine. So yesterday we were discussed about majorly on manual material handling, and what are the kinetics of material handling, what are the hazards associated with material handling, and what are the safety precautions to be carried out. And also we have discussed about the handling of trolleys and also the gas cylinders. And also we have discussed about the safe stacking and unstacking of materials. అంటే ఇవన్నీ చెప్పుకున్నాం. మనుషుల ద్వారా మనుషులు చేసే మెటీరియల్ హ్యాండింగ్ అనే వస్తువుని ఒక చోటు నుంచి ఒక చోటు తీసుకెళ్తారు. And also we have discussed about the various tools with respect to material handling. And also we have discussed about various types of materials, how we can handle. ఇవన్నీ చెప్తామంటే వివిధ రకాలైన మెటీరియల్ మనము ఎలా ఎత్తుతాము, ఒక చోటు నుంచి ఒక చోటుకి ఎలా తరలిస్తాము, దాంతో పాటుగా మెటీరియల్ని తీసుకెళ్ళడానికి ఉపయోగపడే కొన్ని వస్తువుల గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాము, ట్రాలీస్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాము, మెటీరియల్ని ఎలా స్టాక్ చేయాలంటే ఒకదాని మీద ఒకటి ఎలా పెట్టాలి, దాన్ని ఎలా లోడ్ చేయడం గురించి తెలుసుకున్నాము. దాంతోపాటుగా ఈ మెటీరియల్ని ఒక చోటు నుంచి ఒక చోటు తరలించే సమయంలో వాటి యొక్క ప్రమాదాలు ఏముంటాయని గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాము. వాటికి సంబంధించిన భద్రతా నియమాలు ఏం పాటించాలో కూడా మనం నిన్న డిస్కస్ చేయడం జరిగింది. సో టుడే we are talking about, or we are going to discuss about mechanical material handling. As I mentioned you all yesterday, that the major difference between mechanical and manual material handling, the word itself it says about a manual in the sense materials are shifted, transferred or lifted or taken care by the human energy. And if it is in a mechanical material handling, it is completely equipment driven, mission driven process. And also we have seen
PPT is not visible.
No, I have not yet shared the Praveen. I'm just giving the today's class intro only. Yeah. And also we've discussed about how we can minimize the hazards with respect to the manual material handling. How it can be, the more you mechanize your process, so that we can reduce the intervention of people, so that it is indirectly affecting on the 80% of incidents. Okay, these are all topics, the concepts we have discussed yesterday. Just give me a second. I'll share the PPT. Once you are able to see, just confirm with me so that we can start immediately.
Visual, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So if you can see here, this is the major classification of material handling. As we seen yesterday, it is manual material handling we have covered. Individual or teamwork or accessories or storage and handling of specific materials, whatever it is, maybe different types of materials. In the mechanical, there will be lifting equipments, hoist and lift for men and material, lifting machines like cranes, crab, winches, pulley blocks in the sense, chain pulley blocks, derricks also same kind of things, overhead crane, monorails, and lifting tackles will be slings. So if you see a lifting machines and lifting tackles, so this is the one of the legal requirement. These has to be calibrated once in 6 months, or the lifting tackles and lifting machines will be once in 12 months. Okay, these are the various things today we are going to cover. So ఇది వచ్చేసి మనకి మెకానికల్ మెటీరియల్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ లో మనకి లిఫ్టింగ్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్, లిఫ్టింగ్ మిషన్స్, తర్వాత లిఫ్టింగ్ ట్యాకిల్స్ అంటే ఏంటంటే ఈ మిషన్స్ కి మనము ఏదైనా మెటీరియల్ని అనుసంధానం చేయడానికి ఈ ట్యాకిల్స్ అనేవి వాడతాము. స్లింగ్స్ లో మనకి చైన్ స్లింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, వైర్ రోప్ స్లింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, వెబ్ స్లింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఎండ్లెస్ స్లింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, తర్వాత రింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, తర్వాత హుక్స్, షాకెల్స్. షాకెల్స్ అంటే డీ షాకెల్స్, షవెల్స్ ఆల్సో సిమిలర్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ వన్, అండ్ కప్లింగ్స్ అండ్ సాకెట్స్, క్లాంప్స్ అండ్ ట్రేస్. ట్రేస్ అన్ని కూడా ఒక రకమైన ఒక బాస్కెట్ అనమాట. సో దీస్ అండ్ ఆల్ కమ్స్ అండర్ ట్యాకల్స్. సో ఇవన్నీ కూడాను యూజ్ చేసి మనం మెటీరియల్ని ఒక చోట నుంచి ఇంకొక చోటకి తరలించేదానికి ప్రయత్నం చేస్తూ ఉంటాం. In second, I'll just erase this. It's a previous class. Okay, it is I think saved. Okay. Another way of shifting is transport equipments. Apart from lifting equipments, lifting machines, lifting tackles, transport equipments, which will be a mobile crane or a crawler or a tire mounted hydra. So we used to see regularly in the construction industries, even manufacturing process, when a machinery comes in, so we use hydra crane for the unloading and loading of materials. Then industrial trucks, which is also a very familiar ones, a platform or pallet, forklift, reach or a tractor trailers, and the hand lift trucks, and also wheelbarrows. These all will be comes under industrial truck category. Apart from this, there is another category like conveyors. This is also one of the mechanical material handling, shifting of materials from one place to other place. Here, the difference is wherever we use conveyors, it is a fixed path. అంటే ఎక్కడికి మనం వీటిని యూజ్ చేస్తామంటే ఎక్కడైతే మనకి ఫిక్స్డ్ పాత్ అనేది ఉంటుందో, పాయింట్ ఏ నుంచి పాయింట్ బికి ఫిక్స్డ్ పాత్ అనేది ఉంటుందో. ఐఎమ్ సారీ సార్, యువర్ వాయిస్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఆడిబుల్. వాట్ అబౌట్ అదర్స్? రమణ బాబు ఈస్ నాట్ ఏబుల్ టు హియర్ మీ. మిగిలిన వాళ్ళకి వినిపిస్తుందా? ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. రమణ బాబు, కెన్ ఐ ప్లీజ్ రీజాయిన్? ఒకసారి మీరు మళ్ళీ రీజాయిన్ అవరా? థ్యాంక్ యూ. Conveyors will use wherever there is a fixed path. For example, there is a point A and point B. I know this path is not going to be changed at all. So there I use the conveyors so that my material will go in a conveyor. So wherever there is no fixed path, there I use these industrial trucks. First of all, there is a place A, then place B, and place C, and place D. So here there is no fixed path. One day I'll keep the material here, another day I'll keep it in C, another day I'll keep it in D, or maybe other day I'll keep it in place number E. So there is no fixed path. Wherever there is no fixed path, there I use all these transport equipments or industrial trucks. Okay. ఎక్కడైతే మనకి ఒక ఫిక్స్డ్ పాత్ అనేది లేదో మెటీరియల్ని ఒక చోటు నుంచి ఒక చోటు తీసుకెళ్ళడానికి, అక్కడ మనము ఇండస్ట్రియల్ ట్రక్స్ని కానీ ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్ని కానీ యూజ్ చేస్తాము. ఎక్కడైతే మనకి ఫిక్స్డ్ పాత్ ఉందో, అంటే ఒక మెటీరియల్ ఒక చోటు నుంచి ఒక చోటు తీసుకెళ్ళడానికి పాత్ అనేది చేంజ్ అవ్వదో, అక్కడ మనం కన్వేయర్స్ అని యూజ్ చేస్తాం. If at all, if you see in the conveyors, there are different types: belt, slat and apron, flight, chain, screw conveyor, bucket, pneumatic, aerial, and portable gravity, chute, a live roll, or vertical, pipelines or pumps. These are the various different types of conveyors. We'll be very familiar with the belt conveyors and screw conveyors, bucket conveyors, even chutes also, then live rollers. These are the various types of conveyors we used to regularly see actually. One second guys, one second. Yeah, sorry. Then others are mechanical shovels, elevators, and the escalators. Mechanical shovels, elevators. Shovels in the sense like for taking out of material from the mines and all. Then escalators for shifting from one point to other point. Okay. These are the various kinds of mechanical aids we use for shifting or storing or transportation of materials. Now we'll see what are the general requirements of this mechanical handling. అంటే ఈ మెకానికల్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ కి సంబంధించిన కొన్ని రకమైన requirements. A mechanical handle is defined as the movement of goods by mechanical force. If it is in a manual material handling, there they use the manual force or manual or human energy for the purpose of feeding, loading or unloading to or from a machine, a plant or storage place. From where we'll shift the material, where we'll unload the material, like different places. ఇవన్నీ కూడాను వివిధ రకాల చోట్ల నుంచి మనము ఒక మెటీరియల్ని ఒక చోటు నుంచి ఇంకొక చోటికి తీసుకెళ్తూ ఉంటాము. ఎక్కడి నుంచి ప్రొడక్షన్లోకి మనం ఫీడ్ చేయడానికి, either loading and unloading. So ఏదైనా కొత్త మెటీరియల్ వచ్చినప్పుడు దాన్ని అన్లోడ్ చేయడానికి, మన ఫైనల్ ప్రోడక్ట్ని లోడ్ చేయడానికి, ఫ్రమ్ ఏ మిషన్ ఆర్ ప్లాంట్ ఆర్ స్టోరేజ్. అంటే ఒక మిషన్ దగ్గర నుంచి యాజ్ ఏ సెమీ ఫినిష్డ్ గూడ్స్, ఆర్ లేదంటే ఒక ప్లాంట్ నుంచి, లేదంటే ఒక స్టోరేజ్ అంటే గోడౌన్ నుంచి, లేదంటే ఫినిష్డ్ గూడ్స్ స్టోరేజ్ నుంచి మనము మెటీరియల్ని ఒక చోటు నుంచి ఒక చోటికి తీసుకెళ్తూ ఉంటాం. ఇఫ్ యు సీ ద మేజర్ హజార్డ్స్, అంటే ఇందులో ఉండే ప్రమాదాలు ఏంటి మెకానికల్ మెటీరియల్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ లో? The contact with the moving dangerous parts. We have seen yesterday. If the moving parts are not properly guarded or not designed properly, so there will be a chance of an incident. And also pulley belts or gear parts, in-running nips in the sense, for example, if you see in a gearbox. So if you see, it is just like in a, I can say a teeth. These two units which will run towards each other, so that this point is called as nip point. ఏదైతే మనకి ఈ రెండు పళ్ళ చక్రాలు ఒకదాన్ని ఒకటి అనుసంధానం అవుతూ తిరుగుతూ ఉంటాయో, ఆ రెండింటి మధ్యలో ఉండే పాయింట్ ని మనము నిప్ పాయింట్ అంటాం. And also falling from the height or on the floor, or striking against or struck by the falling bodies. These are the other different hazards with respect to mechanical handling. Striking against, it may be striking against in a physical body, a physical object, or the vehicle itself gone and went hit the humans or the people in the shop floor or the work area. Now we'll see types and uses. We'll see the different types of mechanical equipments we use for shifting and lifting of these materials. One is electronic overhead traveling crane, or everybody is familiar with EOT cranes. This will be used for the lifting and shifting and placing anywhere in the traveling area. So here the traveling area is the keyword. Traveling area in the sense, this EOT crane has a fixed path. So if you see on a shop floor, this is the total width of the shop floor. So this is assumed as a crane. This crane is have a maximum limit of here, and again it will come back to here. This is the maximum space it can travel. In between this, and also it have a space clearance from here to here. So it is a vertical travel, and this is called as CT, cross travel, or LT. In a short form, people used to call LT, long travel, or CT, cross travel distance. So these are the ways, or these are the limits the EOT crane will have. It will be used for lifting, shifting, and placing. Jib cranes or gantry cranes, lifting and shifting desired places. This is also same. I think zip crane, if I'm not wrong, it is having a one side this thing. It will have a center pillar. Here it will have a hoist with a hook. So this also have similar kind of operations. Then power trucks, there are three-wheeler trucks to pick up, hold and carry transport material, useful in the making piles, stacking and unstacking. So three-wheeler trucks or power trucks, there may be a three-wheeler or there may be a four-wheeler trucks, which they use for stacking of materials. Stacking means ఒకదాని పైన ఒకటి పెట్టడానికి, హోల్డ్ అండ్ పిక్ అంటే ఒక చోటు నుంచి తీసుకెళ్ళడానికి, దెన్ అన్స్టాకింగ్ అంటే పెట్టిన మెటీరియల్ని తీయలేదు. అంటే ఒక చోట ఒక మెటీరియల్ పెట్టామనుకోండి, మల్టిపుల్ లెవెల్స్ లో పెట్టుంటారు. సో ఇలాగా మల్టిపుల్ లెవెల్స్ లో మెటీరియల్ పెట్టినప్పుడు ఒక్కొక్క ఏరియా నుంచి ఈ హైట్ నుంచి మనము మెటీరియల్ తీసుకోవడానికి లేదంటే సేమ్ హైట్ లో మెటీరియల్ లోడ్ చేయడానికి మనము ఈ ట్రక్స్ అనేవి వాడతాం. దెన్ పవర్ ట్రక్స్, there are 3 or 4 wheel trucks to pick, hold and also carry the transport material in useful. I think it is repeated, I'm sorry. Then conveyors, transporting and carrying of materials between two fixed points, useful as a feeding devices where a manual feeding is unsafe. There is another point wherever it is a unsafe. Point number 1, it is about where there is a fixed point, and point number 2, where a manual feeding is unsafe. There we use the conveyors. The worker should not ride on the conveyors. This is also one of the factors. Wherever the behavioral factor comes in, the people behave like very crazy. They used to travel on the conveyors because they will see that nobody is going to observe us. Nobody is going to monitor us. So because the conveyors will come from so long distances, they feel that there is no person or there is no supervision to oversee the activity of the conveyor. Then lifting tackles, they are the rings and slings, chain ropes or metal or fiber, and hooks or shackles or shovels. They are used for the connect the load to the container to any lifting device. It is any, I'm sorry, it is any. It is connecting the load for the lifting missions. అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక మిషన్కి, ఒక యంత్రానికి లోడ్ని కనెక్ట్ చేయాలంటే మనము ఈ ట్యాకిల్స్ అనే వాటిని యూజ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం. Then for the forklift truck, it is in a power truck having the projected fork to pick the material and also hold, carry and unload or replace a material or a container. It may be, it will carry for the containers also, it will carry a material as well. And maybe a power driven or battery operated, conveniently used on a smooth floors. It is suitable for using in a plain surface area. And also it will be work on a different fuels, either it is in a battery driven or it is fuel driven, like petrol, or like mostly it is a diesel driven forklifts. Then payloaders or power shovels, which grab pullers or hydraulic or pneumatic jacks. These also are different kinds of material handling equipments which they use for shifting and also lifting. Using a dig or lift or transport heavy materials, a well-trained operators or supervision and also a good maintenance are necessary. Payloaders, I can say that the heavy cranes and also the power shovels and also the witch crab. Witch crab will be, it will be used for the, I think it look like crab only. So they'll have 4 teeth. So it will pick the major bulk amount of scrap or bulk amount of material. They used to hold it in one shot and it used to dump wherever we want. Then lifts and elevators is also another kind of material. You could know ఒక రకమైన యంత్రాలు మనుషుల్ని లేదా మెటీరియల్ని ఒక హైట్ నుంచి ఇంకొక హైట్ కి తరలించడానికి. The most vertically and horizontal or in any unilateral direction or in a cable path between 2 fixed points. Like conveyor, it will also have 2 fixed points. Lift vertically and carry material or people. A cage or cabin must travel in a fixed path as well as it is enclosed. Interlocked doors and also gates are necessary. So here the takeaway is it should have a well enclosed. It should be having an interlocking with the doors or gates. It is necessary because until unless you are not having any interlock with the doors and gates, so what will happen? It will leads to a major accidents. Whenever people are getting in, you try to go up or try to come down. It should have an interlocking with the door closure. Until unless the doors are not closed properly, it should not move from that the existing position. Then hoist. Hoist are the 3 types. One is electric, pneumatic, and also hand operated chain hoist. Hoist is nothing but it's just like in a hook with a wire rope or chain sling. it will be equipped with. A chain hoist are three types. One is a spear gate, and also differential and a screw gate, and a worm device. The spear gate type is a most efficient, and also a push bottom cable must be supported by a chain to protect the against the strain. So it is a sometimes what will happen if we take in a chain block. What will happen? It will be assist with the chain for the guiding of the material, or lifting or lowering of material with the hoist. Other one is monorails. It should be well supported on both the ends, like in a hanging bridge. So these will be look like it will have two rails, like it's a bridge kind of thing. Over this, it will be like it will be hang on this. So here it will run on this two fixed paths from this end to this end. This is a monorail. Here you will have a hook, so that here you put the material. And the chain pulley block or a hoist mounted on it or should move freely, and stops must be provided at the both ends and useful to lift, load, and carry the horizontal between two fixed points. It is from one place to other place. It used to lift the materials or shift it. Now, other factor. We have seen about different kinds of machineries and equipments for lifting and shifting of metal, but there is a factor called SWL, safe working load. If you see any lifting tackle or any lifting machine or any lifting equipment, definitely the manufacturer will mark the safe working load SWL, which means what is the maximum weight or what is the safest weight I can lift. Okay, ఆ యొక్క tackle తో గాని ఆ యొక్క machine తో గాని నేను సేఫ్ గా ఎంత weight నేను lift చేయవచ్చు. A safe working load is a limiting safety factor or lift and carry out any load safely. It must be clearly marked on any lifting devices, hoist, lifts, lifting machines, and tackles. Even though if you see in a wire rope sling, definitely there will be a mark. And if you see any chain sling, definitely it will be marked. If you see any web sling, definitely it will be marking will be there on safe lifting capacity. Or if you see there, they'll be having the safety factor 1:5 and 1:7. Any idea what it is? Safety factor? Any inputs, Praveen?
Sir, I
Rajani?
think that is, I'm not sure well connected with the recent term, but the thing is that I think wherever you lift a weight like 20 kg, so 100 kg people should lift that person or something like that. It's attached to that.
Okay, fine. Any other answers? Okay, fine. The safety factor in the sense, for example, if I take it as I think there is a picture. So if you see, these are the, I've taken example for the web slings. So for these belts, they used to say the safety factor is 1:5, or the safety factor is 1:7. In the sense, if I take a 1-ton belt, so if the safety factor is 7, so they will be tested at the 710. They lift the 710 by using this belt. They'll consider the safety factor, or it is also called as a broken point. At what time, at what stage it get broken? It is tested on 7 tons. whenever it breaks, they'll keep it as a break-in or a breakage point. If you say 1:5 compared with 1:7, 1:7 is having higher strength compared with 1:5. Okay. Yes. This is safe working load has been specified by the competent person after a thorough testing and examination. Who is meant by competent person? Any thoughts?
Sir, state government legislations and the gazettes issued the authorize the person who should be the competent in terms of their qualifications and the competency skills.
Okay. It is only people, or we can consider institutions or organizations also.
Institutions also, boss,
Yes.
because certain institutions would have been allotted, say for example of calibration of anything. So it should be certified by the institutions only.
Yes, correct. Thank you, brother. A person or an organization, or I can say mention institutions or a firm, they are authorized to test, perform an equipment inspection, or they are competent or skilled enough to give the certification of those equipments. They'll be called as competent persons. Okay, they will mark or they will give the calibration dates after thorough examination of the equipments, the tools, or tackles. Okay. So if you see a wire ropes, a metal sleeve or a tag with a marking is attached. If you can see, this is the basic practice for a wire rope slings, where they will attach the metal sleeve, like one metal small plate. Then if it is a chains marking for a quality of material, or every 20th link, or a 3 feet apart from whichever is lesser, SW or chain sling also will be there. We can observe your chain slings in your factory every 20th link or every 3 feet. They used to mark the capacity of the chain sling. And also the most familiar area, they used to mark on the hook as well. That is also one of the places we can majorly observe the capacity of the chain sling. And hooks also they'll directly keep on the hook itself. And where the marking on the body part is not visible, it should be shown by the tagging. So if the body part, or maybe due to the usage, it may get worn out. అంటే దానివల్ల ఎక్కువ రోజులు వాడటం వల్ల అక్కడ మనకి కనిపించకపోతే మనము ఒక ట్యాగ్ యూస్ చేసి దాన్ని డిస్ప్లే చేయొచ్చు. Next. You see the calculation of safe working load. It is the minimum breaking load quoted by the manufacturer, and also the factor of safety. This is the factor of safety I mentioned. Factor of safety will be 5 or 7, and this will get from the breaking load will get from the manufacturer. If it is in a wire rope, it is in a thumb rule. The wire rope diameter square into the 8 kgs. And for example, if it is in a 12 mm dia rope, we can consider it is in a basic idea. 12 into 12 square into 8, which is about 1152 kg capacity. So this is about how we can calculate, or we can remember the thumb rule for these wire rope slings. Now, if you see a web sling it is made up of nylon. How it can be tested? If you see in a web slings, these are the different ways we use to lift the materials. This is called a straight lift, and this is called a choker, and this is called a basket hitch up to 7 degrees, and this is the other way of basket hitch from 75 to 45 degrees and 45 to 60 degrees. This angle from this right line to this, how you are lifting. In between we'll have a material. And this is a straight incline. These are again two ways, two angles, and choker inclination. This is the how you use two different belts using choker application. Okay. Now we'll see how a belt capacity will vary in different positions or the different angles when you are using. We will understand that, okay, I've given 5-ton belt, he is lifting only 4 ton, but the belt got damaged. For example, if I take a violet color, this is also color code also is there. So wherever you see these belts with a color code, you can easily remember, okay, it is in a violet, we can say 1 ton. If it is a green, 2 ton. If it is an yellow, 3 ton. Gray, it is 5 ton. Red, it is, gray is 4 ton, and it is 5 ton. Blue, it is 8 ton. Even we can get 16 tons also. Orange, we can get 10 and also 20 ton also. So it depends on manufacturer, but most of the times, these colors won't change. Green will be 2 ton always. Red will be always 5 ton. Blue always will get 8 and 16. Orange will get 10 and 20 as well, and more than that. So these are the color codes they used to represent for easy remembrance or identification of capacity of the belt. If you see the mode of lift, here it is 1 in the sense, మనం ఎప్పుడైతే ఒక బెల్ట్ ని స్ట్రైట్ గా యూజ్ చేస్తామంటే ఒక సైడ్ మనం లోడ్ అప్లై చేసి రెండో సైడ్ మనము లిఫ్టింగ్ మిషన్ పెడితే ఈ బెల్ట్ అనేది ఈ కండిషన్ లో 1 టన్ అనేది లిఫ్ట్ చేస్తుంది. బీయింగ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ 1 టన్ కెపాసిటీ లిఫ్ట్ 1 టన్. If it is a 2 ton capacity belt, it will lift 2 ton. If it is a 5 ton, it will lift 5 ton. If you use a choker, the capacity of the belt came down to 0.8. It will not lift. It is not supposed to lift, or it is not having ability to lift 1 ton because of this choker. So whenever you lift in a U-type, or if it is in a basket, there it can have a capacity to lift 2 tons, but we are not supposed to lift 2 tons. But the belt is having ability to lift the 2 ton weight, or twice the weight of the capacity. Then if it is in a basket hitch within a different angles, in this angle 7 to 45 degrees, it can able to lift 1.4 times. And if it is 45 to 60 degrees, it is 1 time. And if it is straight inclination, in 7 to 45 degrees, it will go for 1.4, and 45 to 60 degree, it will go for 1 ton or 1 capacity. And the belt capacity into 1 ton. And if the choker method, it will go for 1.12 for 7 to 45 degrees. If it is in a 45 to 60 degree, it can able to lift maximum 0.8. If it is in a 1 ton belt, it can capable to lift only 800 kgs. So this is how we have to train our shop floor people, or the people who are involved in the lifting and shifting of materials. They should understand the various factors which will affect the lifting capacity of the lifting tackles. Okay, ఈ విధంగా మనము ఎవరైతే మనకి ఈ మెటీరియల్స్ అనేవి లిఫ్టింగ్ లేదా షిఫ్టింగ్ చేస్తున్నారో వాళ్ళకి ట్రైనింగ్ ఇవ్వాల్సి ఉంటుంది. దాంతో పాటుగా ఈ రకంగా మనము ఏదైతే మన మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరర్ ఇస్తారో ఈ చార్ట్ కూడా మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరర్ ఇస్తారు. ఇది మనం చేసుకుంది కాదు. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ మేడ్ బై మీ. ఐ హావ్ టేకెన్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ది కంపెనీస్ చార్ట్. So here we have to paste this chart in the shop floor also for their ready reference. Okay, now we'll see what is the safety in design, construction and operation. We have seen yesterday, we have discussed about this point also. If the machines are not designed well or not constructed well, or they are not operated in a proper manner, so that there will be a chance of accidents. So we will see the hoist limit switch to cut off the power and also apply brakes when hooks or cage rises to the predetermined level to prevent the overwinding. When it happens, overwinding, when it happens overwinding, if you take an example of EOT crane, generally we have limit switch. For example, we'll have a wheel drum. It will be with a rope, and then on one side altogether we'll have a hook. Here we have a hook. So we'll have a LT. I mean LT in the sense the limit switch. Whenever it comes to a specific limit, so automatically the supply stops. Even though you have pressed many times the button also, it won't move forward. It is a limit switch. A limit switch is to prevent over traveling. For example, if it is not there, what will happen? It starts keep on pulling, then there will be a chance of over turning or over winding of this hoist. These limit switches should automatically reset with a reasonable distance traveled in the opposite directions. In the sense, a limit switches to prevent the over traveling or over transferring, these should have automatically reset. If certain space or certain limit or it becomes, it has to automatically reset the position. And emergency push buttons for the prompt use, we should have emergency push button on the remotes, or we